She's a Tony-nominated actress and Emmy Award winner and known for her sharp comedic style. And now Eddie Izzard is set to take center stage at San Francisco's Strand Theater with her one-woman production of Shakespeare's Hamlet, where Izzard brings to life all 23 characters of this iconic play.
It really is remarkable to think about. Joining us now live from San Francisco is Eddie Izzard. Eddie, thank you for being on with us this afternoon. We appreciate the time.
Thanks for inviting me.
Absolutely. This is obviously a huge undertaking, just to sort of imagine for us. A solo performance, you're up on the stage for 2 hours by yourself, and then, of course, you have to memorize the complicated prose of Shakespeare and then move between all the characters. Why did you decide to take on Hamlet in this way?
Well, if anyone knows about me and my past and my sort of training to get here, it's quite unusual. And so I'm not necessarily the obvious choice for someone to be put into a Shakespearean production, a production of Hamlet. So I have arranged this, coming through doing Great Expectations on Broadway and West End to great success. And solo shows now are much more prevalent. There's many more people. Andrew Scott's doing his solo show, Sarah Snook, to great acclaim. And so I'm doing mine. I've already performed the Hamlet in New York and in Chicago and in London, and now the world tour starts in San Francisco. It's 23 characters, but that's how it is. But it's probably about only 7 or 8 main characters, so it's easier than it sounds when you say 23.
All right, if you say so.
You're too modest here, way too humble, because you do take on 23 roles in Hamlet. What did you borrow from your stand-up to help you play the multiple characters?
All I borrowed from my stand-up was the fact that in my stand-up I did play characters against each other. I would have multiple characters. I came from sketch comedy. I wasn't influenced by Monty Python, where you were playing a number of different, usually separate characters. But in my stand-up, I realized I could play the characters talking to each other. And so that influences this. But this is dramatic. This is a dramatic version of Hamlet. And the other thing I suppose that I do get is that in stand-up comedy, you are talking to the audience. And that's more like how Shakespeare's actors were doing. If you think about it, the fourth wall that people famously talk about, the ignoring of the audience, that did not happen in Shakespeare's time. The groundlings of that, people were shouting back at them from the theatres, from the Globe Theatre, and probably throwing things at them as well if they didn't like it. And so that interaction with the audience, I can, and particularly for the soliloquies, that is something that's in my bones. And I was a street performer for 4 years, which is very similar to the training that the Shakespearean actors had. So I bring all that to my version of Hamlet.
I'm curious, Eddie, if someone needs to be just a huge Shakespeare fan to enjoy this production. I was reading that your older brother actually did the adaptation for this production of Hamlet. How did he help to kind of make this a little bit more accessible for the audience?
Well, this is what I say. If you're a fan of Shakespeare, I think you will like our production. And if you're not a fan of Shakespeare, I think you'll like our production. It has the beauty of the poetry. It has the essence of the story. It is a 5-act play. It is 2 hours. But there are different versions of Hamlet. There is a 2-hour version, a 4.5-hour version. There's different things that were added in the way that Shakespeare, when they were published, there were 2 or 3 different versions published. So my brother has made it into an accessible version of Hamlet, but keeping the beauty of it. It works. People love it. I mean, Judi Dench seemed to say it was spectacular. I didn't ask her to say that, but spectacular is a pretty good quote from Judi. And so I'm taking it around the world, and we're starting in San Francisco, and I think it just works. Every night I go out, and I'm really enjoying doing it, even though it's really tough to do. It is 13,500 words you have to learn, and I have no one on the book. I just go out there and I live it every second. So yeah, we start on Tuesday, and I'm thinking Tuesday's too far away. I'm not even at the weekend yet.
What about your relationship with San Francisco? This has got to mean a little bit to you to have this world tour kicking off in the city.
Absolutely. San Francisco, when I first got here in 1998, and it's such a renowned city, and I know the history of San Francisco in your country, and you know the gold rush, and you were one of the biggest cities on the West Coast there from way before anyone quite believes. People from Europe would not know this, but my relationship with San Francisco and Robin Williams being a producer above the title when my show came in. He said, I think this is going to work here. And he was for here and for Los Angeles. That was a great honor for me, and people coming to the opening night when I was playing here. And I'm just this person who's very influenced by Python's surreal comedy, but I kept pushing. I've kept doing things in different ways, doing comedy in different languages, Spanish, in German, in French, and now and doing drama at the same time, just like Robin did, drama in one hand and comedy in the other hand. And now Hamlet. It's time is right for me to take this around the world and begin in San Francisco.
This is it, and it's incredible. You speak how many different languages, Eddie?
Well, I speak obviously very good English.
Excellent.
I'm counting as well, but it's a bit cheesy. French is pretty fluent. Mon français est presque couramment. Deutsch, in German, it's pretty good. I can say a lot of things like, haben Sie ein Auto für den Flughafen? Have you got a car to go to the airport, please? I can do a lot of that survival German. And my Spanish is just beginning. But if you've got a good French and a good English, Spanish is quite close to them. So I will be doing a big Spanish tour in the future. And yes, I don't have a facility for languages, but I have a wish, a motivation to perform in different languages, to be understood in different languages.
All right, so maybe Hamlet in another language.
Yeah.
That's the next step in all this.
Too complicated, but I do want to do Hamlet in Paris, but I'll do it in English, but I'll do the to-be speech, être ou ne pas être, in French. So
that would be great. Well, I know that there is already a lot of anticipation for this show, and in fact, it has been extended. We are so happy for you in that regard. It now will run from April 1st all the way through the 20th. Eddie, really a pleasure, and wishing you lots of success as you set off on this world tour of Hamlet. Really remarkable.
Best of luck.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
All right, take care.